Yes, Frank Leboeuf joins us. Good afternoon, Frank.
Hi guys. Nice hearing from you.
Yeah, good to talk to you. Yeah, I mean,
too.
was that always the plan? How did the acting come about? Was it always something you wanted to do, sort of post football?
Yeah, that was the real plan. I mean, football was just, let's say, an episode in my life. I have to say. When I was young, I was watching some plays on TV with my mother, and I was like 4 or 5, and she reminded me that I always said, I wanted to do that. But my father created the club, the small club in my small village in south of France, and I embraced that sport and the joy that I had to play with my teammates. And I was supposedly good enough to carry on, and I had my career. But I always thought, and around 30 years old, I started to think seriously what I wanted to do after my career, and that was funny because I started to play in 2000 in a movie called Taking Sides with Harvey Keitel when I was playing for Chelsea, and then when I gave up my career, I went to Los Angeles to learn the process of acting. And then, as you mentioned, the theory of everything came up, and lots of plays, because I've been involved in 8 plays, 1,500 times performances, and I'm going to start my 9th once in September.
That's great. What are you playing in September then, Frank?
I'm going to play a guy who just robbed a bank, a jury store, and just try to hide in a cabaret, and they were going to disguise me in a trance guy, who's going to sing songs and everything. It's going to be very funny. So I'm going to wear high heels. I'm going to sing songs from a French singer, Mylène Farmer, and it's gonna be very, very fun, because they try to hide me, but of course I'm very bad. I'm a bad dancer, whatever it can be, and it's obvious that I'm not part of the cabaret, but yeah, it's gonna work.
Well, if any of the old Chelsea teammates might pop up to watch you.
Well, they won't get it for most of them because they don't speak any French, but whatever.
That's true. We remember you at Chelsea with great affection. You were with the club from 96 to 2001, and you were part of a group really that laid the groundwork for what was to come under Abramovich. You had success, but cup success, but it was that start of a change of the way people looked at Chelsea, and I don't think Abramovich would ever have bought the club if it hadn't been for the way that the team was progressing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we created the foundation, the real basics of the new era, or the era where they've been very, very successful, capable of winning the Premier League and also the Champions League, which was quite difficult for us. Even if we think I'm going to put all the Manchester United fans against me again, but in '99, we played the quarterfinal against Barcelona, and we made some mistake at the end, maybe because of a lack of experience, but we could have gone through, and it would have been maybe a possibility to win the Champions League this year. But overall, we did something good and good enough to again put the foundation and the basic for the club. And when Mr. Abramovich came up and put some money down with terrific players on top of the players who were already there, they created the legend of Chelsea.
I'm sure you keep an eye on the team now. What do you make of the job that Enzo Maresca's doing there, Frank?
I'm very impressed because I wasn't expecting that. When I heard him talking about the fact that he wanted to play from the back and where he didn't have the individuals for that, I was very worried at the beginning of the season, and he changed his mind, being more vertical, faster, and I love that football. That's why I play for England, because in England, because I think direct football is something spectacular. It's an entertainment where it can be boring with a tiki-taka situation, and I see most of teams, playing like that, having the possession of the ball but doing almost nothing at the end of it in the last third. So I love what he does. I wasn't carried away. I haven't been carried away by all the good performances. I always said into medias that I wanted to wait for the first loss, because I knew it could be something difficult to digest for the young player, not very much experienced players, and it's what happened. So hopefully they're going to they're gonna reverse the flow and be better now and keep up with the good performances. But overall, we have to be very pleased. I mean, I'm not expecting anything from Chelsea, but being able to chase for maybe the third or the fourth spots in the Premier League, it's already something I'm very proud of.
Yeah, it's been a funny period. I mean, they've had a terrible run of results, but they've been the better team in every game. So that's the way it goes. We should talk about the Masked Singer, because I was reading you were on the French Masked Singer as Peacock. And I was thinking, not Gavin Peacock, of course.
No.
What was that like? Was that fun? It must have been.
Yeah. Well, you behind a mask, so you can hide, and I'm not a singer. I'm somebody who just enjoy, like everybody else, chanting under the shower. But I took some lessons, and I got some English songs as well, and that was very fun. And you know what, my last song was My Way from Frank Sinatra, and I have to say that I had some tears off when I finished the song, because I was very moved by my performance, because I love that song, because I was able to keep I did it my way. I was capable of keeping it, and I was, oh my God, I did it, and I had some tears off. So it's nice. It was nice.
Did they guess who you were, Frank? Did the panel guess who you were or not? What are some of the other guesses they had before they got you?
Well, I went to the final. I was in the last four, wow. And I went to the final. I even beat some singers. I came on them, I finished fourth. But I was very happy, and they guessed me on the last day. But I have to say, it was quite boring, because we had to hide. Nobody could see us. We had to wait like for 5-6 hours in our own dressing room lounge, let's say. And I couldn't stand it at the end of it. But it's a fun experience, but boring at some point.
And now you're doing fun. We're going to talk football again, but just before we head off to the travel, Dancing with the Stars, Frank, I see you're doing. Is that right?
Yeah, is that Strictly Come Dancing?
Yeah, that's just what we call it, yeah.
I'm about to start very soon the rehearsals, and I don't even know who my dancer will be, but I'm looking forward to starting it, because my wife is a ballet dancer, former ballet dancer. She's a teacher now, but she did all the I don't know what you call that, the salon dance, or dance of salon, I don't know what you call that. And she was very good at it. And my only goal is to make sure that after we can go to some places, I can dance with her without being ashamed of my performances.
I see Adil Rami's doing it as well, another World Cup winner.
Yeah, but I love Adil. Adil is quite crazy. He could be my son. He's a big friend of my son as well. We have like 20 years of differences, so I'm not expecting to challenge him at some point. We have also Florent Manodou, the Olympic swimmer champion, a beast. The guy is just a beast. I mean, that's amazing. So I'm not going to put my shirt off, and I'm going to keep my shirt, and I'm going to try to find another way to express myself.
We'll keep talking to Frank Leboeuf. We'll get his take on the Premier League title race. He keeps a close eye on what's happening over here, of course, former Chelsea defender. And Didier Deschamps, of course, stepping down as the France manager. Who next? We'll get Frank's thoughts on that. We're chatting with our very good friends at Tool Station. Of course, don't forget the Tool Station Club, that loyalty programme that gets you 5% off every order. 18 plus T's and C's apply. We're chatting to Frank Leboeuf, World Cup winner of France, former Chelsea defender, with our good friends at Tool Station. And Frank, I'm just looking at the new manager odds for France with your old teammate Didier Deschamps stepping down. There's quite a lack of Frenchmen at the top of the betting. It's until you get to 14-1 and Hervé Renard. Before that, well, obviously Zizou is number one, again, another old teammate of yours. Number two in the betting is Gareth Southgate. Gareth Port Sud, we decided. Does it have to be a Frenchman in your eyes or not?
Yeah, definitely. With all due respect to Mr. Tuchel, I was really amazed that a big country like England accepted a foreign coach for his national team. national team. Sorry, and I think as soon as you're going to get a bad result, people's going to say that it's because it's German, or it would have been French. I would have been the same, but it's just because he's not from the country that nothing works. He doesn't sing the national anthem, whatever it could be. I think it's going to be awkward. And I would say I would agree if England was not a strong country of football. But I remind to everybody that football was created in your country. And therefore, in order to understand the culture of your players, to know exactly what the Premier League represents and how football is so highly ranked in your country, I think only, even if Mr. Tuchel worked for Chelsea before, only a domestic coach can understand the pressure you can have in that position and why it's so difficult to cope with the English players. I mean, the love of the clubs, the everything you can have, even if it changes a little bit, it's so crucial that it's hard to cope with the situation. Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, would you like to see Zinedine Zidane get the job? Would he be your favourite, Frank?
Yes, and I think it's already dedicated to him. I mean, I don't see anybody else, and I'm sorry, Mr. Port du Sud can come, but it won't be him. I don't see him at all. There is no even 1% of chances that Gareth Southgate can become the national team coach. I think it's after Didier, we had Laurent Blanc before. Now it's going to be Zinedine Zidane. But after Zidane, maybe we can see somebody else. But really. No, it's impossible to see a foreign coach. We did it once with Mr. Kovacs, I think in the maybe 70s, and it didn't work at all. It didn't work at all because you have to understand the culture of the country and the players you are selecting, and it's exactly the same for England. So there is no issue, but somebody like Zizou or another French guy. Because otherwise, it's going to be very badly accepted.
Sure. And this is probably an obvious question, but I mean, you won the World Cup in '98, and our boys of '66 are still fated, and only Sir Jeff left now. But are you treated the same in France? I'd imagine you are. But I mean, are you sort of all national heroes and get together occasionally and that sort of idea?
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean. People remember this day like a day of happiness and a day of pride because that was the first time, like you in '66. But it's also because it was in France against Brazil, the supposedly best team in the world. And that was the first time that we are very proud of being French and being winners. And it was unexpected. Before the competition, everybody thought that we weren't good enough. And little by little, people stood up for us and made sure that we were sure the nation was completely behind us. And I have to tell you, one day, it was like 6-7 years after the World Cup, one journalist asked me if somebody was talking to me every day about that. And I said, well, I don't know. I didn't pay attention to that. And since then, so since 2008, I pay attention to that. Every day, and I can be everywhere in the world. I was in Miami last month, and you have French people there, but you also have English people or Italian. And when they recognize you, they talk to you about that. So it's something important in my life, of course, maybe the most important thing in my life, in my job department, I would say. But yes, it was crucial. I mean, if you talk to me, it's because I play for Chelsea. If I work for ESPN FC, it's also because I play for Chelsea. But I think it's mainly because I am, because you still, until my life was, I am a champion of the world. And if I do Dancing with the Stars, it's because I'm a champion of the world.
Sure. If they're going to win it next year, Frank, then they're going to need Kylian Mbappe playing well. What have you made of his first spell at Real Madrid? Has it been a bit more difficult than you thought it might be?
No, because he had some hard time for the past 6 months before signing for Real Madrid, and many things went through, and it's not only about football. But I said, and I thought that Ancelotti would be capable of making him defending when he will lose the ball, and he's not doing that. And people want to see commitment. You can be the best player in the world, but if you have Vinicius Junior and Mbappe and maybe Bellingham not defending, you can be the best team in the world. You're not going to win. We can see that with Liverpool. They all work together. That's what it is. That's the thing. You have to work. Well, lucky them. They're first in La Liga, but I'm very surprised because they don't play well. They are maybe the biggest club in the world, but they don't play well. And Mbappe is not playing well right now. But I highly rank Kylian Mbappe. When Mbappe is in form, and we can see he's getting better physically, the guy is unstoppable. Yeah, that's why people. Yeah, it's why we call them MVPs. Those people, they make people come to the stadium because they are sometimes and most of the time unbelievable.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned Liverpool there. I'm sure you keep an eye on what goes on in the Premier League.
Yes.
It was an interesting weekend. Some say it was a pivotal weekend. We'll find out. But what have you made of Liverpool under Slot and the start he's made? And do you think they're catchable now?
They are, but they seems to be quite lucky because Arsenal, they can't cope with some situation. They are, in contrary with last season, they have some injuries, and Arteta is facing Saka's absence, Saliba, and we could see how important that guy is in the middle of the defense. Arsenal, they have a very good squad, but they sometimes miss opportunities, and in contrary, Liverpool did not sometimes very good, but they managed to do something like the last game against Brighton. That's correct.
Yeah, Brentford. Yeah,
Brentford. Sorry, against Brentford, and I mean Brentford was very good, very well organized, and everything. And I really thought the draw should have been fair, even if Liverpool played better. But there at some point they have somebody who's going to make a difference, and Slot. Oh my God, the substitution. You know how many times he did well. The only thing he did bad was against Manchester United, where I thought he could have put Trent Alexander-Arnold off before all the goals Manchester United scored. But otherwise, the guy's been spot on. All the player has been spot on. They worked so hard. I put Liverpool at the beginning of the season, for me, the favorite. But it's because they are very good. I think they're a risk squad. I think Arne Slot brought something a little bit different than Klopp, in terms of being more conservative, let's say, defensively, and they are very strong defensively. But it's also because the other team can catch them up because they make mistakes as well. Sure. So it's that's football. You have to accept that. Manchester City is coming back. I think they are back to the business. I have the tendency to think it's a little bit too late because Liverpool won't make too many mistakes. But it's going to be a fight between those three. Even if I have to say add off to Nottingham Forest. I mean, the season is amazing.
Yeah. Well, look, good luck with the acting career, Frank. I mean, we'd love to see you in the West End at some. Is there a role that you'd love to play? Is there one role that you'd love to play in the West End?
Maybe Enzo Maresca.
Maresca the musical. Maybe you should write it.
Yeah. Why not? You know, I mean, I don't know. Anything bad, a bad guy, the opposite of who I am right now. And I made some researches, you know, the dance of salon that I was talking about. I look at it. It's ballroom dancing, as you say.
Yes, of course. Fantastic. Well, we'll look out for you on that, Frank. And lovely to talk to you. Appreciate your time. Thanks very much.
Take care, guys.